Now it's live.
Now it's live.
Now it's live.
I'm sure someone said not live. Are we live?
Now we're live.
I can still say the score because it stayed the same. Manchester United 0, Manchester City 0. We watched it, well, all in our separate parts. You were in the watch-along, me and you were upstairs in the office. It wasn't an amazing game, but we're here with live reaction for the next hour and a half.
All right, Joe.
I'm very good, mate. How are
Jay's
you?
here and all.
Jay's here and there. I'm going to say hello to you.
All right.
Just teasing up what's coming up. We've got Ollie Presser reaction. We've hopefully going to chat to a lot of people on Skype. If that works, Steve was throwing stuff around before going, "Ah! Take your mic off me."
I refuse to believe that Stephen Howson would ever act like that.
You shouted a lot. Steve, watched the game together.
What do you mean together? We're in a hot tub.
No,
Together.
but kind of like...
Game
and
friends.
the thing is, you hardly made any noise throughout the whole game, and that just symbolises what the game was.
Do you know what the most exciting part of the game was?
Come on.
Getting the after eights delivered.
Yeah, Steve ordered some snacks for himself. He just got a box of after eights for himself.
After eights?
Yeah, just a little thing.
You ate them all?
Mate, it was like
He
quarter to
sat
7 as
there.
well. I am a rebel.
He was sat there with a drink and a box of after eights just watching the
Oh,
game.
how the other half live it, eh? I'm sat down here with his watch on.
Jay,
pouring
do you know what
myself
else I
to
got?
tears, and
Do you know what else I got?
Up there scranning after eights.
Do you know
Go
what else I
on.
got? I got myself a Lynx Africa gift set.
Mad that you can get that on Deliveroo.
That's
Got it on Deliveroo.
I am
I couldn't believe it.
100% serious, by the way.
He went,
100%
Is it up there?
It's up there, yeah.
that's how boring the game was.
That
Steve,
will be on socials.
Steve was like, I'm going to order some snacks for everyone. And
Steve
me,
turned
like-
it into 1999. I've got myself a Lynx after gift set and some after eights.
Well, that was exciting as the game got for us upstairs. But for you, Jay, how was it for you?
Well, I was with Andy Tate and Joe Smith, who I always like spending time with, but the game was
I don't know, was that
okay.
sarcasm?
No, I do. I get on with them. They're all right. But in
like
the,
you
Above or below you kids.
depends which kids. Let's not go there.
What
The
a great
first half,
start.
first half was okay. I thought I didn't mind it that much because I thought we'll kick on.
Plan.
But, you
As
know,
per plan,
think
I
you
thought,
sort
maybe.
of, yeah, you summed it up at half time. So I thought, right, okay, this makes sense.
Yeah.
Not great, but I get it.
Yeah.
And then
What's the next move?
yeah, and the next move was let's go backwards, both metaphorically and literally.
It was two managers that were happy to not lose this, rather than anyone with the bollocks to win this. I
Yeah.
think.
Yeah, I agree.
Both of them didn't want to lose. You can see by Pep, he seemed kind of content by the end of it. No one really pushing forward. I thought City's bite was gone completely.
No bite whatsoever.
No bite at all. I mean, Aguero is an unbelievable player. That attacking lineup just doesn't scare. I mean, we've not got a great defence. There was nothing too scary about Jesus today.
You just worry, don't you? Like you wonder like what's going on in Freeman. Like Pep's not got a great record against us. Sterling's not. Has he ever scored against us? You think they'd be up for it? Do you know what I mean? And this isn't a defensively a great United team. You think they'd be getting ours, and you think from our point of view, our home record is shocking. We'd want to get out of them, but not to happen.
It's amazing. Right, I think we're going to go to our first guest. We should be able to cut live to Old Trafford itself. If we can see if Laurie's there. How you doing, mate? Can you hear us? Hopefully this will work well.
Yeah, I can hear you okay.
Yes,
Oh.
we can hear him.
Hear you fine, mate. Right, so we've just been analysing the game from where we were sat. How was it for you?
Listen, I know people have slated it online, and people around me actually were doing the same thing. It wasn't the best game, was it, to watch from an entertainment point of view? But I actually quite enjoyed the sort of tactical battle that was going on. I thought there was quite a lot of stuff going off the ball, little battles happening. You could hear sort of Kieran McKenna and McPhelan talking to the players. I think it was a performance that Solskjaer needed. Really, couldn't lose this game.
How was Pep looking at the end? Do you think Pep wanted this win today? Because I just didn't see him any bite or any sort of when City pushed forward. Our defence has been weak recently, and you thought he might exploit it, but I never saw much threat there.
No, yeah, I was surprised they only made one substitution. I mean, I thought Phil Foden might have come on. He didn't really seem to go, full pelt for it. I mean, I don't know. Maybe he felt that a draw was a good result for him as well. I suppose they did have the best chance of the game, but it certainly wasn't a case of hitting United as they're weak and whilst they're down. It certainly was a cautious approach from him. Yeah, it was a funny one. I didn't really know why they didn't go harder at it.
Yeah, talking about substitutions, you mentioned City only did one. So did United, bringing on Martial. Did you suspect a couple more maybe, or what would you have done? Would you have brought maybe Van der Beek, or how would you have done anything differently?
Yeah, it's funny, isn't it? You've got two managers here that have been calling for 5 subs every single week, and then they go and make 1 sub each. So, not really a way to go about it, I suppose. But, I probably would have quite liked to see Van der Beek on, his runs off the ball in behind. I think could have given City something to think about. They weren't getting, from the guys that were on the pitch. I thought a few of the lads looked a bit tied towards the end, maybe Rashford or Bruno maybe even coming off. But I suppose you can't really take him off given he's got such a threat. And maybe Pogba could have come off and Van der Beek. I'm not sure.
Was there a star man today for United?
I really like Luke Shaw, the way he played today.
Can you see Stephen Howson? He's not got a face on him. He's got a weird face on him. Do you know what? Alex in the studio as well, watching the game. If he said Luke Shaw had a cracking game, there's certain stats flying about the amount of crosses and his attributes today in the game. He was a good player today. I know, can you say anything? You can get stuck in. But yeah, I'm with you, Laurie. Definitely, I think Luke Shaw was...
What's the problem, Steve?
What's the problem? Can you
shut up, Laurie.
He said shut up. Who was City's most dangerous man if Luke Shaw was our best player?
Fucking Luke Shaw.
You can't really look too far past De Bruyne, can you? I mean, Mahrez had the chance first half, but scored, and that being a penalty against West Brom. No goals against Arsenal, no goals against Chelsea, no goals against City now. It can't sustain that. I think it needs to start picking up. But I think, as you say, a case of just getting through it after the defeat to Leipzig. At least it's not a defeat.
You've now got United and City 7th and 8th in the table. You've got United 4 points off top spot. Is this a decent place to be as we go into the Christmas period?
Yeah, it's a crazy season, isn't it? It's obviously going to be a lot lower points total that wins the league. So I think as long as United just stay in that pack, and stay within touching distance, it's not a bad place to be. They're going to be, you'd think, closer to the top than they have been in previous seasons recently. So, I suppose, as long as they're within, touching distance, it's not a bad place to be.
All right, Laurie, I know you've got all sorts to do. Have you done your Q&A yet on The Athletic?
Oh. Done a little bit of a Q&A. Thanks for plugging it. Cheers.
No problem.
Get on it.
Go and check out Laurie's work on The Athletic. Cheers as always. And you're on the Brew on Monday as well, aren't you?
Say again?
You're joining us on the podcast on Monday?
That's what I've said. I've signed up on ST. I'll be
signed up.
Sign up for it. Once you sign up with Steve, he never lets you go.
All right, nice one, mate. Cheers for joining us, Laurie, and we'll see you soon, pal. See you in a bit.
Just briefly mention that Christmas period time. We're going into that with this 0-0 draw, but you've got some teams coming up that are going to be at your feet. Sheffield, Leeds, got a little quarter-final in the middle. Leicester, Wolves, that's all before the end of 2020. Could still finish all right or not all right.
Well, of course it could go either way. I mean, we do not know what impact, one, players having the coronavirus is going to do, because we don't know. We don't know what the long-term impact of any player an elite sport having coronavirus is going to have. We also don't know what the long-term impact of the lack of pre-season is going to have. Maybe we're getting through it at the moment. Maybe there's a swing back later on in the season where we saw a bit like last season where the players absolutely dead on their feet.
Yeah.
You can say, we won't. Okay, but we don't know is the fact. We don't know. We don't know what the impact's going to have. We don't know if City are going to crumble because of that. You don't know if United are going to crumble because of that. You don't know if someone that's had a pre-season like Crystal Palace might have a bit of a late surge because they're prepared. We don't know how any of that's going to go. You don't know how the Europa League campaign is going to affect United. You don't know what the transfer market's going to affect. You don't know if someone's going to be sold. There's so many machinations of what could happen in the next 6 months that it's going to be a wild ride. And even that, then we've got Euro 2020 and Summer 2021. We've got, it's such a truncated season. You've got Euros at the end of it. It's tough. And my worry going into this was United squad was not big enough. That's not really changed.
No.
So you're either going to have to start promoting some young guns, or you're going to have to bring in a couple of people to bolster the squad. People you go, what the fuck are we signing in for?
Yeah, but you're there for a reason, in a way.
2-3 games.
Maybe go back to that point later on in the chat that we're having today. We're going to be here for another hour and a half, speaking to people inside Old Trafford, getting the reaction from Ollie's presser, and getting into the comments as well, speaking to you guys about it. So we will get more into that chat. Let's mainly focus back on the derby now. I'll bring in a couple of players' names. Just want to chat about them. Paul Pogba.
I thought he played well in the first half. I did. Second half, he faded a bit. Didn't really do a lot, I felt.
Is that match sharpness again?
Yeah, no, I'm not. There's a multitude of reasons that may be match sharpness. Just he's someone who's not played a lot of football for Manchester United this season. We know he had his coronavirus as well, but he did fade. We were having this debate: would you swap him for Van der Beek? I probably wouldn't have done because I still think he's capable of producing something, and obviously he didn't. But you wouldn't have put it past him to produce that killer pass or something during the 90 minutes. So. For once, almost, it feels like I don't think today was about Paul Pogba. I thought he was okay. Do you know what I mean? I'm not looking. I'm not pointing a finger.
He had
at
the
him,
chance, didn't he, to make the difference? And
I'm not pointing a finger at him. I'm not going, oh, he was great.
Wasn't managing to take it, but I don't think United had anywhere near enough quality chances where you go, you should have scored that.
Yeah.
You should have made that hit the back of the net. We had a couple of decent chances where you would have hoped someone might have pulled something out. You could have got lucky. We didn't get our penalty in the end. What a pivotal moment that could have been.
Didn't look at the races today, Marcus, and I don't know if it's fitness. I still think he's carrying a knock.
Yeah.
He just didn't.
Something wasn't,
Definitely is.
Well, he's always carrying a knock, isn't he, Marcus Rashford? Let's have it right. But definitely, and that's the sad thing, and it's a little bit worrying to me that you've got an injured Marcus, you've got Anthony Martial who's having his worst season ever, and I like Martial before Martial FC started giving me, pelters, but. No goals in the Premier League this season isn't a good start to the season, no matter how you want to look at it. And Mason, who hasn't quite been himself in terms of, and we know, he's had a lot of flack unnecessarily as well. And it absolutely made me angry to see Gareth Southgate there, even though he's the England manager. Who's not had the sort of start to this season like he had the back end of last season. So all of a sudden, there's a little bit more expectation on Edinson Cavani, isn't there? Because you're looking at you going, okay, someone out of form, someone injured, someone who's got, needs to get back in the swing
He'd have
of
made
things.
a difference today.
Yeah, it's like now,
in a 0-0.
now all of a sudden the 30-odd-year-old Manny was like, really? It's almost like we.
Do you know why? We've been hurt, Jay.
We have been.
We've been hurt. We signed Falcao. We was in the streets dancing. I was hugging strangers. Oh my God, we signed him. And then we actually played him. And you're like,
Do you remember though? It's debut. Was it QPR or West Ham's debut when he came on and he's making them runs and you're thinking,
this is
mate, that movement
could have all gone up that way, hadn't it?
Here we go.
Kurt, welcome to the first team, by the way.
I'm ready to be hurt again, Jay.
Do you want some quotes from Ollie's presser?
Yes, please, and then I'll move on to a certain man called Luke Shaw because the comment section is going wild.
He's on the tele. These are from Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's post-match interview / press conference or presser, as we say in the biz.
The biz, that we say in the business.
In my time against Manchester City, that's the best performance we have had. Not the best result, but the best performance.
What? He beat them last time.
Is he on a wind-up?
Right,
Old Trafford.
I'll let you dissect that one if you want another one.
Right, well, that's just wrong.
I mean,
It's just wrong.
He's just trying to
just
polish a turd in a way.
wrong.
Go on, what else are you saying?
It's a mental challenge when that happens to you, going out of the Champions League in inverted commas, in brackets, sorry. The mental energy you spend trying to recover from Tuesday is huge. It's two good teams. Tactically, we knew they were going to give us some problems, but defensively, we were excellent. I'm delighted with the defensive shape with the ball. We didn't create as much as we wanted to. And then finally, it was a tight game. I know we beat them a few times last season, but those were the different games. They had a few big moments, and Pep is bald. I said that at the end a bit.
Wow, this is a bit tight at the end. So there are Ollie's thoughts. Please get into the comment section. What you made of it, what you think of the game, and I'll be reading them out in a couple of minutes beforehand. I'll speak to these gentlemen here. Anything surprise you?
I mean, yeah, the best performance is had against City.
Is he just trying to make things seem better?
Yes.
Because clearly he can't think to himself that's the best. Scott McTominay's winner in the final minutes.
He's just absolutely wrong.
I mean, at least 5 of those players didn't play that well today. So that's not your best performance, is it?
You could say defensively we looked more comfortable than we ever have against them. Mm-hmm. Certainly under Ollie, at least. Anyway, outside of that, no.
Like that's genuinely.
And we've beaten them quite a bit recently.
Bruno Fernandes has literally had like about however many games he's played for United. All of them have been better than that one probably. You could probably throw in Mason and Marcus into that. That wasn't one of their best games at all.
No.
You're looking at going, that's our best performance. Whose?
No, mate.
Not Manchester United.
I absolutely disagree
with you. And especially not with Ollie against City, who's had a very good record.
Really good.
And some good performances.
Moments about
the one
it.
at the Etihad last season was mint.
Yeah, I don't know what he's on about there. He does have a point, though, with the what it might take out of you when you get knocked out of the Champions League. I don't know what that's like as a player, and it must seem to hurt.
Did you never
them.
got knocked out of the Champions League?
I've never been knocked out of the Champions League.
You just made it to the Europa level.
I always got
on the pitch
kind of there. Thank you. I was pretty good, wasn't I?
Yeah,
great finish on Thursday night.
I need a jib anyway.
See you later,
fellas. We're going to substitute me in, I think.
Let's get Ronaldo Brown in here.
Come on, Ronaldo.
Let's get a bit of intelligence into this conversation.
He was lively upstairs, just talking about the heating. He was too cold. I hope it's warm enough down here for him.
Here's a man who's always got a smile on his face.
He doesn't like chocolate or birthdays. Ronaldo's on his way. Ronaldo, do you want to get stuck into anything we've already said? You had any thoughts over there?
Move closer, son. Don't be
Ollie's
shy.
saying it's the best derby performance ever.
No chance.
Not ever, sorry, but
maybe in an alternate universe, but that was drab, innit?
Yeah. What's your opinions? Let everyone know.
I basically thought it looked like two teams that were trying to avoid defeat.
Yeah.
I feel like both teams seemed to lack ambition. I think City even lacked a little bit more than we did. Obviously, they lined up with Fernandinho and Rodri in the midfield. They don't often quite do that, and that looked quite defensive from the outset. And then as for us, I felt like the midfield with McTominay and Fred looked like we couldn't really break the lines too well, getting the likes of Pogba and Bruno in dangerous positions. It was such a nothing game. It's kind of difficult to kind of formulate some sort of summary on it, apart from it being terrible.
With that midfield, then, would you? I mean, he only made one substitution. Would you have liked to see something a bit different? Would you have liked to see Van de Beek get in? I won't say Matic anywhere near the pitch because we needed a bit more expression there. But would you have changed that a bit?
I'm not even quite sure what could have been changed to kind of add a little bit of a spark to the game, because it seemed as if every player was kind of carrying the same kind of careful vibes with him. It seemed like nobody was too adventurous. Nobody was too... didn't look like anyone was prepared to kind of grab the game by the scruff of the neck and win it, because what kind of annoyed me was both teams should have looked at that and thought, towards the end of it, both teams not really going anywhere. Maybe if one of us actually takes a little bit of a risk, or is just tries something a little bit different, a little bit more ambitious, you could nick the 3 points there. And I think it's one of those games where if someone nicked a goal or if someone scored, I think that would have been it. I don't think someone would have come back. It was frustrating watch. I would have preferred United to have attacked him, because I think City were a little bit there for the taking.
We have had a super chat.
Ross Murphy, who's a massive friend of the channel, he's always getting involved. He says, Stephen Howson going to hate me, but I thought Luke Shaw was outstanding. Kept Mahrez quiet and kept Torres quiet. Him, Maguire, Lindelof, worthy shout, man of the match.
Okay, so Luke Shaw's getting a lot of love in the comments. Do you want to go first on that, Ronaldo? I mean, he was
target practice.
He was all right.
He was decent. He was decent today. He was solid, which I quite often can't say about Luke Shaw and his position and his effort. He was decent today. I feel like his delivery from corners and set pieces was
decent. Where's that come from?
Best corners since Phil Jones.
I saw some serious whippage from Luke Shaw today.
They were our best chances in
whippage,
a way. They were our best chances. When Maguire got in the head of a Phil Jones cross, I thought that could be how we score.
I felt like that's the Luke Shaw way, though. It's the same way he kind of kicked on when Brandon Williams was giving him a little bit of pressure last season. Now he saw Tellers coming in, being the supposed set-piece specialist. Luke Shaw's thought, let me whip something.
Yeah, not good. We can see in the TVs, Ollie's doing another little presser there for the TV channels. So if any more comments come from that, full time Stretford Paddock, sorry.
Do you know where you are?
What?
Yeah, I'll tell you what, you've had a right shock.
That was when I was I've only said one wrong thing.
You didn't introduce it until we were halfway in, then you forget what channel you're on.
What do you mean I didn't introduce it? I didn't introduce you because you've already been here, and Howson's just always here, like a bad smell. So I went, I'm going to tell people what's coming up.
Even though we're on live.
I'm going to explain the concept of the show, and then I'll introduce you.
Talk about bad smells. I might not confirm or deny. On the lift down here with Steve, he might have let off one of the loudest farts.
Should have seen. We're going to break from talking about football for 1 minute. Should have seen Steve's the snack order. He went, I'm going to order snacks.
What was it like?
Should have seen it, man. How many snacks are up there?
Oh yeah, I've got. Sorry to digress from Stephen Howson.
More important.
Juan Martinez, which is a fantastic name, says we're short a reliable striker, any right winger, a dedicated central defensive midfielder, and a fast centre back to realistically challenge for a title. 11 games in 4 off the top. Sorry, 11 games in, 4 points off the top isn't terrible. That has sort of David Moyes vibes of
that was quite a long list.
All we need to do is work on our
big list.
All we need to do is work on our shooting, passing, defending, and we'll be all right. Aaron Quinn says boring games to watch, but I have to give it to McSauce. He was very good on the ball, moving forward through the midfield at times. Didn't think he could.
Keep them super chats coming in.
You disagreed with me, didn't you? Because I thought McTominay played really well and you weren't having it.
I think he was okay. I think if anyone was to go, I would have preferred Fred to stay. He's just more of a. I trust him a bit more in defence, although he does go a bit too wild in on tackles sometimes. But he's kind of like our sort of dog at the back that just will run around and try and get the ball when he can. McTominay, I do like him, but I think if we were going to be more expressive and we were going to push forward in the last 20 minutes, maybe he out the midfield 3 was the one to move forward a bit. Pogba stays just in case he has that bit of a genius moment. at Fred stage, just in case you're on the counter and we need someone to get back and really get the ball off City and break down their counter. So I would just say McTominay would have made way for me if I was going to bring on Van der Beek.
Sorry to interrupt.
Keep them coming, by the way.
Aditya Raju says, do we have a starting definite starting 11? Does this performance, and it's just gone off my screen, I think, does this performance give Ole time? I don't think this performance necessarily gives Ole time. I don't quite agree with him that it was the best performance he's ever done against City. I didn't think today if he lost, he was going to lose his job. I thought he might be under a little bit more pressure, but I don't think it's necessarily bought him time. And I think in terms of a starting 11, I do think we had that. I think Ole Gunnar Solskjaer towards the end of last season had his starting 11 for almost every game, even when it was knackered.
Yeah,
I don't even think that's necessarily changed.
No, it hasn't. Keep your thoughts coming in your super chats.
Go on, do you
as you've said, innit? When you're United manager, you're always 3 games away. I feel like from pressure. That's what you said. I learned that from the man himself.
Angelina Kelly's there.
Can we go to Angelina? Do you want us 2 minutes, Cam? We can go to Angelina now.
Cam, speak up, please.
You can't hear Cam, but Cam's in our head. And I never wanted that man to be in my head, ever. Cam, go away. Angelina is there. Hello, how are you doing?
Hello, I'm all good. How are you?
Yeah, I'm very well. Derby day, 0-0, not the best. How was that for you?
Very underwhelming. It just didn't go how I thought it would. I'd had so many different scenarios in my head about how I thought this game would end up finishing, and 0-0 never actually popped into my head. So yeah, very, very disappointing.
Yeah, the comment section is going wild for one Mr. Luke Shaw today. Did you agree with him being man of the match?
In a positive way, for once, maybe.
Yeah, for once. You know what? He was all right. Ronaldo J here, and they might ask you a question. You might not be able to see them, but we can throw some questions at you. So do you think that both managers, it kind of looked like they were quite content with a 0-0 at the end of it? Ollie doesn't want the pressure, and I don't know what was up with Pep. Like, I don't know what was up with him. He just didn't. He could have gone for United.
Everyone was very content. It didn't seem like a derby. Like, why are we all hugging and kissing like we're best friends? But yeah, I think that, both managers will probably be walking away from that feeling pretty happy. I guess Ollie, in one sense, is thinking that could have been a hell of a lot worse. My job could seriously be in jeopardy. So yeah, he was probably happy with it, and Pep's walking away with 1 point. So yeah.
Yeah, he mentioned in his presser after the game about some of the players, having to come back off what was a Champions League knockout, and it must have been tough, especially when we've got quite a young team getting quite deflated like that. Did you see that in the way they played? Did they look like a team that have been defeated and didn't have like a nice morale about them? Because I just thought they looked all right. I felt like they looked like they shook off the midweek drama.
Yeah, I agree with that. They didn't seem to, I guess, devastated in a way that all that had happened. They did seem to shake it off well, but just not well enough, really, I guess.
Oh, yeah, sorry, that's me. I was just looking to see if Ronaldo wanted to ask anything. The chat's going crazy. Someone says, bring back David Moyes. The defence and midfield were bad today, says AJ. Sat MUFC says, how is there no talk about Pep getting sacked? I mean, is that even a chat at a minute? When we look at what's going to happen in the next couple of weeks, before 2020 ends, we know what 2020 has been like as a year. It could go one way or the other. It could go all right or really, really bad. You've got little teams, so not necessarily big teams. You've got little teams such as Sheffield's in there, Leeds are in there, teams that can cause upset. Wolves are in there, Leicester are in there. It's not going to be a nice Christmas period for Ollie, or is it?
Well, some of these, I guess, what you call smaller teams have done us dirty, big style before.
Big time.
So it doesn't make me feel any better or any more secure. It just fills me with... Whoever we're playing, I'm filled with a little bit of dread, I'll be honest, because at the end of the day, we've seen us go against bigger teams and still end up losing. And then we've also had really good victories. And then again, with the smaller teams, the same thing's happened. You never really know what you're going to get. So yeah, it doesn't make me feel any better.
Sorry, I've just been told that I'm still on camera and I've been making weird faces to Ronaldo.
Not about you.
Not about you.
That's because we're trying to.
Ronaldo's trying to think of a question for you, and he was like, "I don't know what to ask." I was like, "Well, just ask anything."
Right, I'm glad we have.
How do you ask a question after that?
Can I ask a question?
Jay's got a question for you.
Telling me how you haven't got a question to ask when I have.
Jay's got a wonderful question.
I'll have one.
Ange, our own form this season has been shocking. like today again, looking at it, it's what is it? 3 defeats, 2 draws. I think the only team we've beaten recently at home has been West Brom, and even that was lucky. What do you put that down to? I mean, do you think it is just the lack of crowd is affecting us more at home? I mean, how do you explain it?
I think, you can definitely say that the whole effect of the crowd has been a major factor. I think it's been a factor for loads of different teams, but I think it's a very easy card to play. I think that, over the years, you look back at United's history, we've had some amazing records at home, and it's not just through this pandemic that we've had bad results at home. It's been going on for a longer period of time, in my opinion. It's hard to say what it's down to. I think it's down to, probably for me, I would say that teams are coming to Old Trafford and they're not as fearful as they used to be. And I think maybe psychologically that's having a bit of an impact on the players and the club and stuff like that. But I think the whole fans thing, it definitely comes into play. But I think it's a very easy thing to say, like, oh, we didn't win because we didn't have any fans. Well, no, we didn't win because we didn't play, well enough.
One player we haven't talked about today, we mentioned Pogba, we mentioned Luke Shaw in the past, but Bruno Fernandes, I mean, he wanted to get on the ball a bit more, but maybe he's just, we're getting so much out of him. Maybe just today he just didn't have anything there for us because I don't know if he's tired or he's, it just didn't click for him today. What did you make of his performance?
He's carrying a lot on his shoulders, it doesn't surprise me if he is a little bit lethargic. But yeah, it wasn't his best game. But I think the amount of good that he's brought to this team since he's been here, I can kind of let him off for that. But yeah, some of the shots were not great, not his finest. But I think it probably is down to emotional and physical exhaustion, I would guess.
Yeah, I agree with you on that. And another player I'd like to bring up, because I wasn't too sure about when he got the ball and we were pushing in the last moments of the game, was David De Gea, who's quite slow.
I'm glad you brought him up.
He was quite slow in releasing the ball. I want to bring him up and see what everyone thinks here. When he had the ball, and it was the dying moments of the game, and the ball is in the palm of his hands, and he's got a good boot on him. You've got players up there, tall players as well. He could easily try and get the ball down to him, but he just seemed quite. I'm just bringing up that one moment. If you want to talk about anything else as well, let us know. But De Gea, is it time we just give him a little break for a bit to see what Henderson can do and then see who's better?
Ange, what do you reckon?
He did have a decent save, though.
I've always been probably more pro De Gea than get rid of him. He's absolutely horrendous. But yeah, I guess when you see moments like that and you're willing him to do a little bit more and he's not actually producing what you need in those moments like you mentioned. I think at the moment you kind of feel like things couldn't really get much worse than they have been recently. So why not put Henderson out in a game? I'm not too sure about the exact dates, but I know we've got Everton coming up in a cup game.
Yeah, that's
maybe
coming up. Yeah,
a chance then. But yeah, I wouldn't be mad at seeing him, make an appearance. As much as you can say Sheffield isn't really the same kind of pressure as Manchester United, he has got experience playing, against Premier League clubs. So why not give him a try over Christmas?
Jay, you want to mention De Gea. We can get a camera on you.
I mean, the thing with De Gea is he's not gonna change now. He's not gonna suddenly become commanding his area, or suddenly his distribution is gonna become mint. He's 30 or whatever, he's 29, 30. He's been in the Premier League now for 9 seasons. Mm-hmm. The player you've got with David De Gea, he's an excellent shot stopper, likes to use his legs, he's very good, he's very quick reflexes. He's awful at commanding his area, and his distribution isn't great. And I don't think that's ever going to change. But the fact he's such a good shot stopper outweighs the negatives. And I think you either accept that and you say, okay, we'll live with it, and we just have to be better defensively when it comes to sort of dealing with crosses, or you bring in Dean Henderson. So now with Ange, I think that it would be a good opportunity, perhaps with a cup game that's a bit more of an important cup game because it's a quarter-final, to give Dean Henderson a decent chance. Because I thought he did well against West Ham.
Yeah.
I thought he did. That ball was halfway over the stand when he cleared it, but it still counted towards a goal. So, give him credit.
Ronaldo, you De Gea fan?
I'm definitely a De Gea fan. I agree with Ange.
De Gea fan, sorry.
Yeah. I'm not saying
he did have a decent save. I think he's kind of a victim of his own success, though. David De Gea. That might be the issue because he was world class for so long. He was basically one of the best. Probably arguably the best keeper in the world for a number of years, and the fact that he's kind of fell off that a little bit, it kind of makes his fall seem a little bit steeper than it actually is. But I don't want to give up on De Gea too early. I think Henderson's not showed enough to kind of say, he's going to take United forward. I think De Gea's still a man.
Angelina, thank you very much
Thanks,
for joining us and joining Stretford Paddock. And hopefully we speak to you soon after some games. Hopefully we speak to you soon after a nice couple of wins in this Christmas time. So see you later. Thank you very much for joining us.
Thanks, and from One Football as well.
For One Football.
One Football.
I don't get notes like that.
Yes.
Jay does.
No, I just know it. I just know it. You see, knowledge, mate.
One Football.
It's all up here. Angelina Kelly from One
I
Football.
blame the producer. Cam.
Cheers.
Get out my ear. Bye. Can I move on to the penalty incident, by the way?
Do what you want.
Can I move on to the penalty incident?
You're the guy.
Yeah, you are the guy.
That was unfortunate, wasn't it?
That was, unfortunate. It was annoying that he was offside by like
2
inches, whatever it was, but he was offside. Even me with my eyesight could see straight away he's offside.
I'd love to know how the people watching now, the rules of that, like how far would they go back in how far do they have to go back to make sure the passage of play was? I know it wasn't that far back the offside, but what if that happened a couple more passes down the line? Would they have gone all the way back there?
I'm not sure, to be honest with you, mate. I think it just sort of summed up our evening, though, because it was a stonewall penalty. Kyle Walker's definitely kicked him, but then you're looking and you go, he's definitely offside. Yeah, there's no way we're going to get that one. It's not even one of them, is it, where you think, oh, maybe.
I think I put a tweet out saying VAR after all we've been through.
How could you do this to us?
How could you do this to us? I know you're perfectly correct, but...
yeah, no, it was, and it was like, when we got that penalty, I was buzzing. I thought, right, this is it. This could be actually sort of sum it up. United not playing well, get a penalty, Bruno scores, happy days. But no, that was it, really. And the sad thing for me was we didn't have enough of those balls into the box. Yeah. We didn't have enough of those opportunities. Do you know what I mean? I don't even... Did Marcus have a shot on goal? Did Mason? I think Mason might have
Martial looked a bit like...
Martial as well, yeah. Sorry, Marcus and Martial. I don't think that. No, Martial didn't come on until later on. But yeah, it was like... I don't think any of the strikers really tested Edison, which is a bit of a shame because... I always think he's a good keeper, but he's got one in him. Yeah,
he does. I'm going to go to the comment section for a couple of minutes here. So if you want to get any thoughts to Ronaldo or Jay, let us know. Get in the comment section, leave your thoughts, leave your opinions, leave your questions as well, because this time is dedicated to you. Cavani, can't wait for him to return, says Wazoo07. He's going to change things up when he gets the likes of Pogba, Bruno and Rashford behind him. Does Cavani change that game? And is it the state when we're relying on Cavani, a free striker who's over the age of 30, to come back and play for us?
Ronaldo's come on, mate.
In his eyes.
You've got a glint in your eye, like you've got something wild. Controversial to say.
Nothing controversial, wild. It's just why does this happen? Why do we have to... There's always got to be someone 30 plus saving a day up front for us. But we need to hit the number 9 position earlier and younger. Yeah. But I feel like everyone's already given up on Martial after about 10 games. So it's definitely a position obviously for United that carries a lot of weight and a lot of prestige. So it's big boots to fill. But I'd rather us have someone where obviously Cavani's here for the now, so we need to make use of him while he's here. But we need someone that's looking forward. Is that what I'm doing? We need someone primed and young and someone that we can have for a large period of time that can be fit and firing up top for United.
The funny thing is, right, I rate Andy Martial. And I think, I thought Martial, Greenwood, Marcus could work and can work. Just this season, it's just not been happening really, has it? No. And it's like, today summed it up. And that's just the annoying thing because now you're looking at Cavani going, maybe you have to bring him in a bit more often.
Yeah, sweater-wearing squirrel says, honestly, a fair result. Neither team really wanted to play for the win. Just had to read that coming out from that. AJ on De Gea made more individual errors than any other Premier League goalkeeper last season. FYI, he wants to bring that up. Someone's bringing up Jose Mourinho and how he still should be managing Manchester United. Let's move on from that shortly. Is another one about Scott McTominay. High praise from him, and that's from Mara Dragon 7. Ross Murphy getting in touch saying Rashford's foot was offside about the penalty incident. So how unfortunate. Can't read that one out. There's a lot I can't read out. A lot of people a bit angry. Some people.
What were you personally?
Not with me. Apparently, I'm doing an unbelievable job. A minute till the guest. Cam's doing an unbelievable job of producing. What are you laughing at?
You like Andy? Every time Cam spoke to Andy would tell everyone what he said.
I'm used to I'm used to having people talking to me here, but not Cam. I just can't get the fact. If it was any other person, it would be all right. The fact that it's Cam, he puts on a different voice. Have you noticed that?
Yeah, he's sounding different on it.
Yeah, he did. Dead posh.
I'm not gonna lie. I'm slightly being thrown off. I'm being thrown off.
Voice. Sorry, Jay. Professional. United City 0-0. Let's get back to.
Sorry.
Oh, sweater wearing.
Viewers at home that can't hear Cam and are probably wondering what the fuck is going on.
Sweater wearing Squirrel's been back in touch.
He's nuts.
Oh, we can let the guest
Thank
in.
God for that.
Right, who's the guest? And the guest today is. We're going down under. Jay can do a mint Australian accent. Go.
G'day, mate.
Silence.
Nah.
Silence. Look, he's even.
I wish I could
upside
go
down.
back.
We are going to
wish
speak
I
to.
He's literally down under.
Wish I didn't hear that.
Well,
But
should be Tom. Tom should be there. Tom, are you all right?
Yeah, g'day boys, how are we?
Good. Yeah, I'm very,
man.
very well, mate. What time is it in Australia? The classic question to ask.
It is 7:15, so it was actually a 4:30 a.m. kickoff, which is always a bit of a challenge, but at least
really
it
a
was a
classic
Sunday
question?
morning, not a Monday morning.
It's a classic question to speak to someone in Australia and ask them what time it is. It's fun, isn't it? You know what
that
I mean?
or if they've got a spider in the sliders.
Pardon? Anyway, you were up at 4:30 to watch a 0-0, but it is Manchester United. I mean, was it worth it?
Look, I know it's a frustrating 0-0 draw, there wasn't too much action in terms of what happened at either end of the pitch, but I thought it was a tense match. I thought the game was on a knife edge from both managers, from both sets of players, so it wasn't a classic Manchester derby, and that was a little bit frustrating, considering the position we were in, especially midweek. I wouldn't say I'm happy with the point, but I'd definitely take it.
Yeah, I'll take it. It's just funny because you're like on the side of the screen. Like, I feel like you're going to fall down. We were asking about man of the matches. Luke Shaw getting a lot of love. I know we maybe talk about Fred even. It was good for us today. Did you see a United player that you thought was all right? I mean, I use the word all right because it still was a 0-0. No one really shone, did they?
I thought individually everyone sort of played quite well in terms of no real mistakes. I thought the only hairy bit was sort of the boys playing out from the back. I thought when the ball got to Luke Shaw and Wan-Bissaka, when we were playing out from the back, it was a little bit dicey at times. But I thought individually everyone did well. I thought the midfield did well. I thought maybe Rashford, he always gives it 100%. I thought it was a little bit quiet. And maybe that was sort of down to the way we played. We weren't getting the ball forward too quickly. But can't have any complaints. You look at the Leipzig game during the week, there was a lot of performances. You think, okay, that player's not good enough. This player's not good enough. But in this one, I thought it was quite good.
Yeah, we mentioned that before Cavani got a mention, saying he could have changed the game for us. And as United fans, it's not really great to know that a plus 30-year-old striker is what we really need right now, the guy we got on a free. Do you see the players like Rashford and Martial just need to step up? Or, Rashford's played so much recently, and Greenwood is still young, he's played a lot. What's your opinions there?
It's hard. Look, I flip on Martial and Rashford every week. You sort of say, okay, 1 week they're a centre forward, 1 week they're a left winger, where with Cavani he's a centre forward. And I think with Solskjaer, since he's come in, he's always been linked with that striker. Obviously, Haaland's been the biggest name. I'm not saying go out and get Haaland, but always mixed on Martial and Rashford, whether they are a winger or a striker. And I think when Cavani does come in, he does give us a little bit more balance and gives sort of Martial and Rashford that freedom to sort of move at defenders on the left-hand side. Because you saw Rashford today. Okay, Stones and Diaz aren't sort of the most physical of defenders, but they can do quite well sort of in one-on-one situations. So I'd like to see Rashford and Martial further towards the left.
Yeah, definitely. Tom, right, listen, we've got Sheffield next, bit of Leeds, Everton, Leicester City and Wolves before the end of 2020. Ollie, he's still going to be managing Manchester United in 2021, isn't he?
Fingers crossed, I hope so. I'm definitely, I hate the camp of Ollie in v Ollie out. I don't really like that. I think everyone should be 100% behind him. But if you look at that in December, every game is going to be very difficult, but City is definitely our hardest game on paper. We've come through it, I think, with a decent result. So you go through, win a few games, and you don't know where we're going to be sitting come 2021, hopefully within touching distance of I don't want to say the title, but within those top spots.
Yeah, exactly. Tom, tell us a bit about your podcast and where the Australian our fans and people watching now can go and look at what you guys do.
Yeah, the United Pubcast, obviously it did start in a pub, but obviously 2020 has changed, so a lot of our podcasts now are done online, unfortunately. But we do try and get to the pub after every couple of games and sort of whack a phone down in the middle of the table and just have a chat. So if anyone does fancy hearing a Aussie point of view of all things Man United, feel free to listen. It's a UTD Pubcast on Twitter.
Perfect, Tom. Thank you very much, mate. Have a good one. Bye, Tom. Tom from Australia there giving us a chat. Listen, we are here.
Thanks, guys.
Review. We've got so many guests from inside Old Trafford, from around the world who are getting in touch with us as well. As you can see, webcams are webcams. He may have been on the side, he may have been a bit drunk, who knows? But we are joined now by all the guests in the studio. Thank you very much to Jay, who's given us a wave. Oh, no, they were the V's. Joe with us.
Yep.
Joe, you with the watch along with Jay and Andy. I'm sure you've already shared your thoughts, but do you want to share them again?
Yeah, it's just, I don't think that's the worst result ever, to be honest. At the time you're watching it, you're going, oh, there's no passing, we're not breaking through the lines, we're not having shots, we're not really doing a lot. But really, when you look back in this season, we're not going to go, oh, it was that point we got at home to Man City which cost us the league or cost us top four or cost us whatever. This is going to be one of those results where you go, it was a bit shit at the time, but really, these results happen, and a point against Man City isn't the worst thing ever.
It's a lateral move, isn't it?
It's a lateral move, and you're not going to go back and go, oh God, do you know what cost us it? That draw against City. It won't be that. Trust me. There's plenty more results, where we can point the finger and we can say, this was this, this was that. A draw against Man City, not the end of the world for me.
No, or me, or some people are a bit upset. Maybe City were there for the taking. Pep Guardiola's getting a bit of stick as well. Like, what's the crack with him? Why is he under a bit of pressure?
Well, he should be.
He should be. He's underneath United.
If you look at it, he started the game as if he's under pressure.
Yeah.
Because for him to set out so solidified and defensive and going with the midfield combination of Rodri and Fernandinho, it kind of showed that he knew it was a game he couldn't afford to lose almost before the pressure would start to mount on him.
Yeah, that's a good point.
So,
because they've had a shit start. Yeah. We can all, all the fingers are always pointed at Ole, as they're always going to be. Whatever, get over it. But they've been terrible this season. They were terrible last season. I know that he's won 2 leagues before that, so fair enough. He gets a bit of leeway. He gets a bit of credit. But they've been shit for 18 months, and we're just allowed to
preach, Joe.
Allowed to walk through, signing new contracts, signing extensions,
spending millions.
But you gave yourself your own reason. I think City have gotten more leeway and Pep has gotten more leeway because of the recent success they have had, which United unfortunately haven't had.
Yeah, of course. I'm not saying that Ole's done as much as Pep, so why is everyone annoyed at Ole? Just drinking a Strongbow dark fruit, by the way, for the first time.
Yeah, I know, you did bring one over.
No.
Hold on, sorry, say that again. For the first time ever?
Absolutely overrated.
You've never had one? It's not overrated.
It tastes like watered down Ribena. Rubbish.
Yeah, but with a life fizzy on it, and it gets you right there. I'm having
it's terrible.
Anyway.
Terrible.
Luke Shaw, man of the match?
No, not for me.
Who was there?
He was all right.
Who was
Just
there?
because he wants shit, everyone's acting as though he's fucking Maldini.
Who was there?
He was all right. Maguire was better than him. McTominay was better than him.
I don't think McTominay was better than him.
Yeah, he was.
I think Maguire's a shout,
Maguire was really good.
Yeah.
What are you on about?
He wasn't really
Yes,
good.
he was.
He
did very well in
He
the
did
air.
a great captain performance.
He did a great block on the shot against Raheem Sterling. He got in the way of a couple of shots for Kevin De Bruyne as well. I thought Maguire was really good. Didn't get done.
Did you ever read of Ollie's presser?
No, I hadn't yet.
Saying it's the best. It is even for you. For the guy who's beaten City a couple of times, he said it was the best performance for United that he's had against City.
He said it was the best performance we've had against City.
Yeah, that he's managed.
I don't believe you.
You don't believe me or Ollie?
I don't believe he said it. Let me hear it.
Wait.
Jay!
What?
Jay got
Did
the
Ole
quote.
honestly say that was the best performance we've ever had against City under him?
Yeah, he did.
All right, well,
Why are you discrediting me as a source?
Because I believe that's a quite remarkable thing to say. When you've been to the Etihad. The thing is, it's not even like I'm defending myself, because a draw isn't the worst result in the world. It's just wrong.
It's just wrong, isn't it?
Yeah,
plainly
just
wrong.
incorrect.
We've been to the Etihad and dominated the games there a couple of times last season. Like last season, we had 2 results away at City that were better than that. And I think defensively, maybe you could say it's the least they've troubled us defensively under Ole. I would agree with that. If you wanted to say it was the best defensive performance under Ole, yeah, but not the best performance.
No,
you can't have the best performance without scoring any goals.
Jarvis with a super chat. We have 4 points more than last year after 11 games. Progress.
Yeah, it's also progress in the sense that it's not about how many points we get. It's about how many points we get in relation to everyone else.
It's like Rocky. This no matter if you get hit, it's about what you do when you
no, but
get
it's,
hit, get back up.
You don't know whether you've got
Moving
20
forward.
points. If Liverpool's got 28, 30 points after this time, what matters is, are we near the top of the league? Are we near 4th place? And we are. We're 4 points off the top. You know, there's seasons where we've had more points than this. There's seasons where we've had less points than this. But it doesn't really matter. It's how many points has number one in the league got? And it's only 4 more than us. I don't think that's bad.
No, it's not bad.
It isn't bad at all. It's
You don't
just
win the league by getting 90 points. You win the league by getting more points than the team in second.
want to start winning our home games though, don't
I've got
we?
some great quotes tonight, haven't I?
You have got some right. You've got a look in your eye that I've not seen in a long time, and I
know
think
what it
it's
is,
the
mate?
I was gonna say, I
Oh,
knew
yes.
you was
Sexual
gonna-
excitement.
Strongbow. What?
sexual excitement.
It's not
What
a
are you
bad
doing after
performance
this?
today. It's not a bad performance, and we're all upset. And
He's
it
moved
was-
on quickly, hasn't he?
it was
He's
poor
trying to
to
move
watch.
on to the football. He's dropped the
It
clanger.
was a bit-
He's moving on.
I'll say it again if you want me to. I just think it wasn't the worst result ever, and there wasn't a bad performance particularly. And if that was Jose, everyone would have been going, "Oh, look what Jose's done again there. Look, got another great performance from Jose Mourinho." I think it was all right.
That's going on in the corner as well. We are here with your comments, so get into the comment section as well, and we can read some of them out. We can give you a shout out as well, and have your thoughts about what that game was. It was 0-0. Everyone's talking a bit about Cavani. Some people talk about Luke Shaw. Does he deserve that Man of the Match award? Who knows?
Did he get it?
I'm sure he got it. Did he get it? I'm sure he got it.
I don't agree with that.
Did he get it? Can someone fact check that, man? I think we've got James, though. We can go to James on Zoom. He might be the right way up, which is good. James, are you there?
Hi, mate. You all
I
right?
feel like Eurovision. James, what country are you calling from?
I'm calling from Cardiff. It's a bit of a disappointment.
Cardiff. So
Cardiff.
Wales.
Cardiff.
The answer is Wales.
No, Wales then.
Trick question number 2. Who's your man of the match today?
I'd probably say Pogba, actually, even though I don't think he should have started.
Very conflicted today, James. Pogba was he was all right, wasn't he? I mean, were you surprised to see him on the team sheet when it came out?
Yeah, I mean, I don't think he should have started purely on principle. I think the fact that what Raiola was saying during the week, I don't think he should have came on against Leipzig, or I don't think he should have played today against City. I think it sends the complete wrong message out to everyone.
Yeah.
How long would you leave him out for then, as a result of what was said the other day? How long would you leave Paul Pogba out of this team for what was said by Raiola?
You leave him out until the situation calms down a bit, maybe 2 weeks, would you say? I think Mourinho did a similar thing when it kicked off beforehand. Was it at training when all that was sort of going on, and Mourinho dropped him from the squad for a bit? And I think Ferguson probably wouldn't have stood for this. I think we saw that actually with Pogba before. He just had enough of him and got rid of him.
Do you personally think the situation can actually calm down? Do you think it's one of those where it's gone to a height that is probably too far to come back from? Obviously, he's had his few controversies, Pogba, and obviously Raiola as well. So do you think it's almost too far gone and it's just basically inevitable that he's probably going to leave?
I don't know. I mean, it doesn't help when you've got Romano and you've got people basically saying he's finished at United. So we'll just have to wait and see with that one. But I mean, we saw before with Mourinho, a lot of people thought Pogba was finished, but then he came back and sort of stayed in the team. But I think it's probably beneficial for Pogba's career that he just moves on now, because I don't really think he has a future at United. I think everyone's just had enough of him, to be honest.
Yeah, some nice comments coming in about what Joe mentioned just previously about Jose. And if this was a Jose performance, maybe people would have said it was a
Tactical masterclass.
masterclass. And people are agreeing, yeah. So does Ollie not get the credit for this? Pep Guardiola's Manchester City. So it's a 0-0 draw, so it's not the best, but he gets the point and he moves on.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. I mean, Guardiola, it was a real Guardiola-like performance today from City, and I think the pressure should be starting to mount on him now, but because it's Guardiola, it doesn't seem to be having the same sort of effect because he's this sort of charismatic figure. So I think City, to be honest, this season have been poor. I mean, you look at the performance today, it wasn't a Guardiola performance. City turned over the ball a lot. They were actually quite sloppy, I thought, in possession. They weren't as intense as you sort of expected them to be, and I thought the game was actually probably there for the taking. It reminded me a bit of the Liverpool game last season that ended up with a draw, where United probably could have gone for the win and didn't.
Yeah, indeed. So, I mean, we're talking about what's to come and the future. The next couple of weeks are going to be tough. There's a lot of tough games coming up. Do you think, especially for me, looking at the top 3 and what we're going to play in the next couple of games, we love Rashford, we love to see him play, we love to see him perform, but I do think maybe some moments out and some moments resting might be good for those players, especially with some big games that they've played already. How do you see the attacking lineup being set up for Manchester United in what will be quite a packed end to 2020?
Well, I think it's different compared to last season. Towards the end of last season, when we came back and had Igalo, for example, that was coming off the bench and was playing relatively often when he probably shouldn't have been, and there were several other players as well in that situation that were being tied. To be honest, when we had the Europa League games, the Premier League games towards the back end of the season, so I think it's going to be hard. I think the players need to rotate. I don't think Rashford, I don't think Greenwood, I don't think many players can actually start every game because it's going to be difficult for them. I think Solskjaer has to rotate, and if that's maybe dropping Rashford, dropping Martial like we saw today, then perhaps that'd be a good thing.
I'm going to bring in a breaking super chat, and see what we all think of it around the table. I'm hoping I say this right. Tijaz. Ollie needs to walk away. Woody, Buzz Lightyear. Ed Woodward won't sack him because he's not a troublemaker. Ollie seriously cannot believe he is good for the club. It's a super chat. He's had his say. Is Ollie going to walk away?
Nah, he shouldn't do either.
No chance.
He's doing well. Like, what's the problem? I think Ollie's got the third best win ratio of any Man United manager ever. Like, what are we walking away from here? We finished third last season. We got to 3 semi-finals in Cups. I know we've been knocked out of the Champions League, and that was shit. And yes, he can take some flack for that. And there's loads of things he can take flack for. But like, to suggest that he should walk away like he's, so above or so out of the question that he could ever succeed at Manchester United, I think he's just wrong. I don't think it's fair. I don't think it's actually a reflection of what's happening. It's a reflection of people's predisposition towards Ole Gunnar Solskjaer as a manager.
I'm not quite sure about.
Ronaldo's getting stuck.
I'm not quite sure about that statistic about Ollie having the third best win percentage at United because think about it, how many managers at United can you pretty much downright say has been incredibly successful? Obviously, we've had that long tenure of Sir Alex, and obviously a long time before that. But of recent times, who are you comparing him to, really? In terms
I'm comparing him to every manager we've had.
Let's bring James into it. And then we can argue. James, what's your opinion on that?
I think TJS can go fuck himself, to be honest.
Okay. Cheers, James.
Cheers, James.
Profanity.
What a way to finish.
Cheers, James.
James, we've got to go. Lovely to speak to you, though, mate. We've got to go.
From Cardiff with love.
From Cardiff, a.k.a. Wales. James from Cardiff. See you later, mate. Thank you very much.
James, what's happened there, then?
Jesus Christ.
Right, anyway.
Unbelievable.
What a crazy couple of moments, anyway. My hair was looking wild, apparently. But is everything all sorted now?
Yeah, you look good now.
I really think that dark fruit has changed.
I'm still not sure, Joe.
I think that dark fruits has changed you.
It's changed me forever.
Never seen eyes like it.
This one
Never seen eyes like it. Let me have a read about this. Some people are kicking off with the super chat. The Van der Beek situation, this is 2020 is weird, by the way, that's the name. The Van der Beek situation is ridiculous. He's playing well, highly rated everywhere, proved himself in the Champions League. United is losing, and he is not getting any more game time. Could someone answer me why?
I think it's just rotation, isn't it? I think what he does as well is, and unfortunately for Van der Beek, if we're truly honest with ourselves, he isn't quite as defensively sure as the likes of McTominay and Fred. He isn't quite as attacking wise. He's not as prolific as Bruno, and not that anyone expects that he should have to be. He isn't quite as good on the ball as Pogba. He doesn't win anything in the air the way that Pogba does. He's very good at a lot of things, but I think he's not the best of any one position that we have, or not necessarily the best, but the most suited to. He's not got the industry and the interceptions and the energy of Fred. He hasn't got the physicality and the strength of McTominay. Like the amount of balls that McTominay won in the air in midfield today was brilliant. Yeah. He doesn't have the output of Bruno. I think he's a great player that can play in a lot of different positions, but I don't think he's the best that we've got in any one given position, personally.
No, Ronaldo?
I'd go as far as to agree with that, but it's rather tiring, the fact that week in, week out we're having these personnel debates. It just seems if we can't quite figure out what's the best kind of starting 11 or what's the best team to go forward into games with, how can we expect Ollie to, really? If it comes down to it, he gets blamed a lot from me as well for his kind of decision making in terms of who he starts and his formations, etc. But I don't think the players or the personnel that we've got anyway gives a clear indication on like what kind of will work best. I feel like we have to experiment quite a bit, and the only way that we can improve that is obviously bringing in players that take us forward instead of bringing in depth players that are going to be on the periphery like it has been with Van der Beek. We need players that are going to come in and basically take us to the next level. I've been saying that for quite a long time now because we're just going round in circles, really, just not sure who to play or when to play. We need more consistency, and we need some more kind of solidity in the starting 11 as well.
Yeah, Let me head to the comment section here. People agreeing with what you're saying. So people are still kicking off with the super chat. Now, when we talk about Manchester United, we've not had your thoughts particularly on De Gea, Joe. We've had Jay's, we've had Ronaldo's. We mentioned De Gea. I mentioned I wanted to bring up the last 5 minutes of the game, and I thought he could be more alert, more wary, more ready to just distribute the ball to get us on the counter. But in general, as him as a goalkeeper, it's just he's still number one. But do you just test the waters a bit, or do you just keep him number one and just go, that's it?
I think Henderson's been good.
Yeah.
Whenever he's played, he's looked good. I thought he looked good when he came on as a sub the other week. I thought he looked good when he played the other night. Was it against Everton? He came on, I think, wasn't it, for De Gea? Yeah. Or Southampton, maybe. West Ham, sorry. I think he's a good goalie. I don't think De Gea could have won us the game today. He didn't concede a goal. He's not at the other end trying to create chances. I don't think his distribution has come forward in recent years. I'm not quite sure why that is. Steve mentioned it before the watch-along or at the start of the watch-along. It seems as though De Gea's distribution has gone backwards. And I don't mean literally, but, he's not quite the player he was at playing the ball out, finding those passes to feet. He seems a bit more hit and hope than he used to. I don't know if that's a confidence thing or what, but... Yeah, he doesn't seem to be quite the player.
Gone through this day of critique and it just a little bit earlier. I'm still in the belief that he's still a very good keeper. It's just the fact that the heights he set and the standards he set, he's a victim of it. That is the issue. And any little minuscule error, any kind of irregularity in his game, it just seems to be highlighted more than with other keepers.
He didn't do anything wrong today, though, did he?
No, I was just bringing up the fact that I think he could have looked a bit sharp in the last 5 minutes of getting the ball up. There was just moments where he was just held on to the ball a bit too long, and especially when City were breaking, and then it would lead to nothing. And I just thought, we've got good players up there. Let's get the ball to them. And I brought up that because I just wanted to generally chat about the goalkeeper, really. We have had a super chat from Juan Martinez. Great super chat name. Yeah.
I think it's his real name, not just his super chat name.
Oh, but it's super name in general. But we're Man United. Let me get this right. In quotation marks, but we're Man United people that expect to win every match, don't take the Glazers or the TV money, in quotation mark, bad teams have now into account. Tight league. So basically saying that the people who may have...
When you look at the top of the league, I think last season by this time, Liverpool had about 32 points or 31 points, something like that, after 11 games. Something ridiculous. And, already they've got, I think, 9 or 11, maybe less than that.
Yeah.
So it's like, it is tightening. It's an interesting season with COVID. It's an interesting season with injuries for top teams as well. Liverpool have got the first sort of spate of injuries that they've had in about 2 years. And obviously they're dealing with that. City was shit last season, so I don't know what they're blaming that on, but they've continued that form.
Love it. You're going on City. I love it.
Well, they were terrible. I mean, I'm sure after Leicester, it wasn't the worst championship defence of anyone in the Premier League era, but it's certainly unexpected for a team that was averaging 99 points over 2 years to then end up being 25 points down, or whatever it was on Liverpool last season. So, yeah, I just think that United are doing a lot of the right things, and I don't think we can expect to win every single game.
No,
of course.
Let me say, someone just mentioned the fact that Everton are in the league. If you want to, that's just happening. Don't go anywhere. Stay with us. But Everton are in the league. Someone's saying we need to sack him. Clearly a bad manager, and that is Mario Dragon 7 having a real big go at Ollie in the chat there. He's
big go,
a massive go at Ollie in the chat. He's going off on one. When you read these comments. Joe, do you not understand it, but do you get frustrated by it? When you read an Ollie out comment, like we're getting a lot of, what's your initial feelings?
I don't know. I think United are improving under him. I think United are better now than they were when he took over. Yeah. I think we win more games by scoring more goals than we used to. I think that we are more exciting to watch. I know today wasn't a great example of that, but we got the percentage of games where we score 3 or more goals is much higher than it was under Van Gaal. Is
Have
much
we
higher
improved
than it was
enough?
Under Jose. Well, enough for what? To not sack him, or enough for us to be the best team in England? We haven't improved enough for us to be the best team in England. But I think if we're improving and we keep improving,
I'd
why
agree.
would you sack someone?
I'm not obviously saying sack Ollie, but I'm trying to get more detailing into what your kind of what is your satisfaction quota basically on improvement for Manchester United Football Club?
I think he's improved the way we play. He's improved the amount of goals that we score. He's improved the amount of points that we pick up. Since he came in, we've been the third best or the third most points accumulating team in the league.
But that is what you're not realising. That is not what the barometer that we're setting for ourselves as United fans. And I know you're obviously you're being a realist, whatever. But I'm just making it clear that United fans aren't trying to be the third best anything.
No,
United aren't trying to be the third best anything.
The third best team in England, or the third best team in the FA Cup, or the third best team in the Europa League. I want to be the best at all of them.
Or the third best dark fruit drinker.
But if you're coming from sixth or wherever it is, you have to hit third on the way back to the first.
But I don't think the board hire United managers thinking, if you get us to be the third best team in England or the third best whatever, that's a good job. Unfortunately, at United, it's to be the best or we move on.
I've got
that's simple. I've
got to stop with that. We're going to go to John Shin, who is. This is Eurovision. I don't know if you'll know what Eurovision is because he's in America. Yeah. But John, how are you doing, mate?
Hey, what's going on?
Very, very good, mate. Where are you calling from, John?
Calling from New York City.
New York City.
Which is in America.
Which is in America. I can't know.
In case you hadn't heard of it.
Do you want me to ask you what time it is in America?
No. What's the weather like?
What's the weather like? Well, that's great.
For God's sake.
Let me just chat to you about the game. The Manchester Derby, 0-0, not the best. John, your thoughts? What are you saying about that match?
Well, it was dry. I mean, it doesn't take a genius to know that it was really dry. But I think both managers will probably be happy walking away with that. Honestly speaking, they looked like they came in with a cautious approach. They wanted to make sure that they weren't sloppy. I kind of wish this performance came for Leipzig. I think that performance was what we needed against Leipzig. I wanted to see a little bit more fire. I wanted to see a little bit more risk. But both managers are going to be happy with what they walked away from. Am I happy with that? Not necessarily. To see a derby like this, to see a performance like this, I'm not happy by any stretch of the imagination. But at the end of the day, they get to walk away with a point each. So.
Yeah, John, you might get questions for either me, Steve, or Joe. We're throwing the questions your way, New York, and what you made of that game, and people get in the comment section as well. We were talking about the way United pushed forward today and our attack, and did we ever scare City in any way? Did any of our players look like they were ready to put a ball in the back of the net? Personally, I don't think we had that attacking oomph in us. There was moments where we got on the ball, and the best moments for us came in set pieces, where Luke Shaw took corners. But other moments, it didn't seem like we had a bit of spark about our attack. Did you get that, or is that just me?
Not at all. I mean, both, but to play devil's advocate, both teams didn't really trouble each other at all. I think most of the battle was fought in midfield. Most of the battle was just fought in transition and possession. I thought Fred and Pogba were particularly okay, or good rather. If I'm going to be nice, I wasn't going to. Particularly okay is a horrible way to phrase it, but I thought they were particularly good in that midfield. I was worried that we were going to get overrun, especially in that first half when they were moving the ball around. The one-touch play looked a little bit more. A little bit more oomph. There was a bit more conviction behind what they wanted to do with the ball. Now, with that being said, it wasn't easy for them to transition through the thirds, especially in that final third area. I thought we could have been obviously a little bit more lethal. But at the end of the day, both teams just looked cautious and they were making too many mistakes. It almost kind of felt like a drag in that second half, especially. They were just spilling balls everywhere. Bruno was even letting balls slide underneath his foot, and it was just that kind of encapsulated that performance overall from both sides.
Yeah, I'm just trying to have a look down when last time we didn't concede in the Premier League game. I'm sure I can find that.
Chelsea?
Chelsea. So we didn't concede, and what Ollie did in his presser was come out and sort of say the defensive shape was good for us. That was what his thoughts were in the press conference. He said, that's something they've clearly been worked on, and that's something that was a success. So, I mean, going into other big games and going into games that we've got coming up in the next couple of weeks, are you a bit more confident that we won't concede in the first 20 minutes?
I'm definitely confident that we will have some sort of response. I'm not confident in the consistency of said response. What we've seen from time and time and again from Ole's squads, Ole's team's performances over the course of the year plus that we've seen him is that if we do perform poorly over a stretch of game or two or even three, we definitely respond with a bit of fire. But our problem has always been maintaining that fire. And that's the lack of consistency that a title-winning squad, a title-challenging squad needs to have. And Manchester United just don't seem to be having that, haven't had that, to be quite frank with you. And I'm more concerned about the consistency of said response, holding that response as opposed to the actual response. Because I'm sure a response is going to come, right? Ole's side has shown time and again that there are sparks of quality that can be ignited from these guys, but it's just the mentality and the consistency of how they can perform over the stretch of 5, 10, even 15 games. That's what we've not seen. So I'm more concerned about the long term, if anything.
Yeah, indeed. Steve, any to throw John's way?
No, John, where do you expect us to be come the other side of Christmas? Because this is obviously there's about 1 million games between now and Christmas. Mm-hmm. We're 4 points off top with level games played. No, everyone's literally about to play their game to put them one played extra than us. But 4 points off top, considering who we've played, what's happened this season, everything like that, isn't a bad position to be in. But do you think we can improve that or keep it the same, or are we going to see that get away from us between now and, say, New Year's Day?
I'd like to think we have the quality and the potential to maintain the sort of position that we are. Maybe even climb up a position or two. However, I'm gravely concerned about the status of the squad right now. I think the thing that most managers in the Premier League have been complaining about is the substitutions and the fitness levels and the health of the players. I'm not going to go on about what Klopp was saying. I'm not going to even go on about the 5 substitution rule. But what I will say is what I'm seeing over the last few games is the exhaustion starting to slowly creep in. Bruno has not been sharp over the last few games. Nobody can take that away from me. Bruno just looks tired. He looks exhausted. And yeah, we don't want to see players burn out because that's when we risk heavy injury. That happened to Pogba. That happened to Rashford particularly. We don't want to see that from players. And I'm worried for Bruno. I'm worried for Rashford again. I'm worried for that these key players are going to get injured, and then before you know it, it's just going to be capitulation, and that's what I'm more concerned about.
Awesome, nice one, John. Good to see you, mate.
Legend,
Take
John.
it easy.
Cheers,
Hopefully,
John.
we'll have you on again before Christmas, mate. And
yes,
if
sir.
Not, have a good one. See you in a bit.
Say bye, John. Guys, I've got a super chat I want to read out. FYI caller from Cardiff. He was just talking about what was James talking about? It all just escaped me. It was basically, let me read this out. For years, we have been calling Liverpool fans delusional with their players and manager signings. This is before the Klopp era, I'm guessing. By normalising mediocrity, we are doing the same thing. Why not bring Poch in?
Hang on.
That's a good ending to that.
Hang on.
Super chat.
Hang on. No, right? We're normalising mediocrity. Let's get a guy that doesn't win stuff. Are you fucking kidding me? Are you fucking kidding me?
Steve, when you can encourage it. I like Pochers. I think he's a good manager, but I don't like to end that sentence.
A fucking winner, Joe.
It's funny.
Joe, a winner is showing you what the winner does with that team. A winner in Jose Mourinho is showing you what he does. And Jose Mourinho is showing you what this squad was capable of. As in, wasn't good enough. Now, Ollie's doing it a little bit better than what he was. Obviously, Bruno's had a big part to play in that. I think Ollie, given the right tools, is going to get there. And people go, oh, don't compare him to Klopp. Well, why the fuck not compare him to Klopp? Because Klopp was finishing lower than Ollie. He was finishing 4th before he got Van Dijk and Alisson brought in for him. So why can't you find the right players? Why can't you find a centre-half version of Bruno and have United go on and challenge for something? John was right in saying that we're not there yet. United we haven't got the consistency. We're not at that level. We don't have that ruthlessness that a title-winning team has. We're a good team, but we're not a top-notch team. And that's the difference. What's going to take us from where Liverpool was when they had Skrtel in defence to where they are when they've got Van Dijk in defence? Who's that player? Who's that? Is it a centre-forward? Is it a winger? I don't know. United have arguably got 3 or 4 positions that they need to find that player for. And sometimes having a big, good spine of a team, you can bring in your Cleverleys and you can bring in your shit players around them.
Divock Origi's
Liverpool
last season. Yeah,
All right, Joe.
Hello, how you doing?
Hi, Joe.
Yeah.
All right.
Are you all right? How's things? Yeah,
all right,
I just got a couple more
asking.
points to read out, and people's in comment sections. Zahin says City squad is a million times better than ours. Yes, but we drew. Pep, one of the best managers in the last decade and a half. Ollie beat him 3 times. Do we need a major transfer window? Yes, but can we all calm down, please? That's a quite nice way of saying it. Samuel said, do you know when you're reading it? What's up?
I just can't get over the colour of that. Are we talking latte, refried bean?
I've had
or-
poos that colour.
Yeah, or what would you say? What colour would you say that is? If you were being honest, chip shop curry sauce.
Brown. Do you not just call it brown?
I'd call it leaning at your mic so everyone can hear you.
Yeah, well, no, because I'm just judging what I look like.
It's the exact same colour as your hair on the top.
And that's what I asked for.
That's interesting.
I like it though. I do
is.
like
Let's
it.
call it what?
We asked for a Joe McGrath beard shirt.
Yeah, and I got one. There we go. We all got one.
fair play.
I had
At
a
least you're
comment.
happy.
It was a good comment, and then do you know when it refreshes the comments, it's gone. Won't be finding that again. But your comment, yes, it was good.
So write it again.
Write it again. Everyone send the comments again.
And send them with a £10 super
Right,
chat.
here we go, Samuel. As far as I can see, the fact that we are not even mentioning the title race just shows how far we have come. We're not too far away from it. Why can't we go forward? It's a tough one for Ollie today because if he changes loads of things and we lose, he gets the blame. That's what I wanted to read out.
I'll mention it.
You mentioned it.
We're
Mention
close.
the title race.
I did a bit of research. I did an old Stephen Howson, and I've mentioned it on the watch along. But
There we go.
the
Big
last
Fred.
time, after 10 games, Man United were closer than 2
Nothing
points.
fuels work like anger.
Closer than 2 points from the top of the league, which is what United were after 10 games last weekend when we were all on the same points. We were 2 points off the top. The last time that we were at that position
1974.
was 2013.
Oh, okay.
Oh.
And the last time we were better than that before that was 06, 07 or 07, 08. So it's not like United are always within touching distance of the top of the league. Obviously, we've seen in recent years that we tend to drop off rather than get better, which is what we used to do under Fergie. But the fact that we were within 2 points of top after 10 games, I know it's 4 points now, but that's a good start. That's a start where you can go, I don't think we're going to win the league necessarily because we haven't proven that over recent seasons, but if we can be within a shout or within 6 points by the end of January or something like that, at some point you have to start talking about it.
Progress, Joe. I just want to see more progress.
Exactly.
And I wouldn't sit here and go, we need to win the league this year. That's ludicrous. What we have to do is we have to continually improve.
Yeah.
We have to go, right, everyone looks at this squad and went, probably need a new left back, probably need a new centre half, probably need a new number 6, probably need a new winger, probably need a new striker. That's half of your starting 11 you need to replace. You can't say, I need to replace half of my team and we should win the league at the same time. You can't say that. That's ludicrous. So you have to go, right, in the next window, can we solve 2 of them problems? Then in the winter, can we solve another one of them problems? And then the next summer, can we finish off all them problems? And you're going to have fudge factor in there that 1 or 2 of them that you think are going to solve them problems don't actually solve your problems.
What's the fudge factor?
Fudge factor.
Fudge Factory.
It's in case you
Would you have a fudgy bum? You don't wipe it properly.
It's like when you fuck it up, mate. So you
You've
think
had
a
a fudgy-
signing,
have
you
you had
sign
a
a
fudgy
signing,
bum?
and you go, actually, he's not the Messiah. He's a very naughty boy.
Yeah.
You definitely have had a fudgy bum.
No, I haven't. Carry on.
So I think you have to try and plan to say, right, United need, let's say that's what we need.
Yeah.
We need 5 or 6 players. You're not getting them in one window. You have to maybe go, okay, over 3 or 4 windows, we'll address that. But then you have to give that manager the time to address that over them 4 windows. Or you throw your toys out the pram and you get a new manager in and he goes, I don't like the 2 that you got in the last window for the new manager. You go, fucking, I've got to start again. Get this guy what he wants. Just be patient. Don't start, it's like getting a builder to come and build you an house. When he's done the foundation, goes on my fucking roof. Well, I've got to I want the roof.
Yeah.
Well, I can't live in it
Can't have
yet.
a roof
Would you
for
give-
the door, can you?
And I'm not using Poch because it's the player that the manager that's been linked with United. I'm just using it as an example of a team that was built up over a few years. Would you almost use Poch as an example of he slowly built a team that was pretty good there, and then when a top manager comes in, he can finish it off with a couple of pieces. And I know that I don't think they're going to win the league this season, but they look much more aggressive and ruthless than they ever did under Poch with Mourinho. Do you think almost there's a chance that Ole could fill in all the gaps, fill in all the steps of rebuilding the club the way we want it to with wingers and young players, and rather than everyone's got to be 6'3" plus and 32? Do you think there's a chance that Ole could almost
What
put
a
all the
team.
foundations in, and then maybe it might have to be someone else to
Well,
sort of
maybe
take us
he is
over
a
that
manager
line?
that can win a league, seeing as though
Yeah.
he's a manager that's literally won leagues before.
Yeah.
And the reason Pochettino needed another manager that can win leagues to come in is because he's not a fucking winner.
Yeah.
Because let's be honest, he should have won a league. Leicester won a league on his watch. He was arguably one of the 2 or 3 best teams in the country,
Yeah.
and Leicester were not. And he allowed them to win a league on his watch. This isn't like he was up against a prime 99 United side. He was at a Red Bull mainline in Jamie Vardy Leicester, and that was it. Like, he should have won leagues. When he came second, he should have won it. He's come second and third and should have won one. And then his team fell off. Yeah. Now, you might be able to put some of the blame at that at Tottenham's board by not refreshing the team. I think everyone's, and Alex did some fantastic work on this last week, I think everyone's missing the wood for the trees here. Paul Mitchell is the guy that recruits. When you look at who Tottenham signed on Paul Mitchell's watch, which overlaps half with Pochettino's watch, half of the signings under Poch were dog poo and half of them were really good. And the half that were dog poo was when Paul Mitchell had gone and Poch was still there.
Where's Paul Mitchell now? Can we get him?
I think he's just been made like head of global recruitment for the Red Bull football group. So that's all of their football teams. But if you look at who RB Leipzig have signed and look at who Salzburg have signed, they're renowned for picking up top players from obscure markets and then selling them for mad crazy money. That was literally what he did at Southampton and at Tottenham. He's the common denominator here. Fuck Poch. It's about Paul Mitchell.
Mm-hmm. But then, as well, you wouldn't just say that it's only the manager's job to recruit. You like, I'm not saying that means that it's Poch's doing. But you would want a person of Paul Mitchell's acumen alongside a top manager, not instead of.
No, totally.
Yeah,
but. Then, so recruitment is the most important factor in terms of success for a football manager, right? Recruitment. That is the most important factor. If you was building a tower,
a pyramid, let's say
a pyramid. I like that.
Yeah, I like
shape.
a tower.
One of my favourite shapes.
So if you're building a pyramid,
triangle.
the biggest block at the bottom is recruitment.
It's not a shape, is it?
The biggest block at the bottom is recruitment. You've seen Pellegrini win a league with Manchester City, and you've seen him get sacked for being worse than David Moyes at West Ham. What's the difference in that? He was pissing with a smaller cock, right? Recruitment is the biggest slab. It's the bottom of your pyramid. That's the big one. On top of that, you then need to have tactical stuff. On top of that, you're going to get your 1% improvements, having a top nutrition, a fucking throwing coach, things
Analysis,
like that. They're going to make a small difference, but they do make a tiny difference. And on top of that, you're going to have luck and timing.
The groundsman and a mascot.
That's a big one as well.
And that's part of luck.
Yeah.
But the biggest one is recruitment. You can have the best manager in the world. If they're trying to play with Derby County's team, they're not winning the Champions League.
Well, we saw that with the best manager in the world when he was Frank Lampard, when he was at Derby. He just couldn't get the job done because the team wasn't there.
Speaking of them,
I agree with you.
Let me have a look. I think it's still 1-0.
Chelsea are playing.
Everton.
Who's winning?
1-0 to Everton. It's half-time.
1-0 to Everton. Half-time. Who scored the goal for Everton, please?
Sigurdsson.
Gylfi.
Gylfi.
The tactical side of stuff is the next biggest slab. And for me, Pochettino didn't have that. Name me one. Here's a phrase you never saw. Tactical masterclass again by Pochettino.
What happened there, Steve? You all right?
Yeah, Steve just...
Tactical masterclass by Pochettino. I was trying to burp at the same time.
Incredibly well. We've only got 2 minutes to go.
Pochettino.
What should we finish on? Positivity?
A song.
A song! I've been singing hymns all morning.
I think we should look forward a little bit. And we're talking about title races. Maybe leave the title race stuff to one side.
Maybe leave that to teams that are in
Sheffield
it.
United and Leeds coming up, and then we've got Wolves as well. We've got
Everton.
Leicester, Everton. All of these teams are tough games, but none of them are your elite teams.
No, them are games where you go, if United turn up, we win those. But as John said, and as a lot of us are noticing, this United team looks again like the back end of last season where it's kind of running on empty. We're going to need... This might be Donny van der Beek's time.
Yeah.
Come in, play 90 minutes, mate, because
Take
we need
some pressure
you.
off Bruno.
Same with Paul Pogba, although he faded again today, but he did look good today. But he's not played a lot of minutes. He's not got a lot of miles on the clock. Let's get him some game time.
Yeah.
Let's get Cavani some game time. Let's give Marcus Rashford a night off.
Yes, please. Let's all mix things about, and hopefully we'll be in a much better place. Well, I do this a couple of times after United games, where we just come and dissect, get some fans on, have them on the Zoom. You didn't see the Australian guy was upside down, very funny.
It was actually sideways, which isn't the.
I wish he was upside down.
Is it?
I wished he was upside down. It would have been so funny.
That would have been good.
But so we go into our next game, maybe a bit of positivity, but I'm sure Stretford Paddock will do the full rundown. You got the brew on Monday.
Fridays now.
Fridays, but Laurie's coming on Monday. I remember
Yeah,
you
he's
chatted
coming
to
on the
him.
warm down.
The warm down. See, classic. Joe, any final words?
No, just that. Well, yeah, I suppose just that. Again, like I said before, if we look back on this season at the end of the year, we're not going to go. The game that cost us was that 0-0 at home to City. It's not the worst result in the world, and it's the games like the Palace game, like we've seen in the past the Newcastle game last season, where you sort of go, these are the ones that really sting. It's the same as the PSG at home or the Leipzig away isn't the killer. It was Istanbul away. The games you should be winning. A 0-0, not great to watch, not an exciting game particularly, but a point against City isn't the worst thing in the world, and we stay above them in the league. Not
Steve?
bad.
Happy?
I'm always happy. I'm like a rare. Do you know what? When everyone goes home, they go, Steve's like a rare sunshine in my life.
Great. Can I have a slice of your weird cake?
Yeah.
Okay, this has been Stretford Paddock. This has been the live reaction to Manchester United 0, City 0. I'm sure we'll have lots of some fan cams coming up, and we'll have loads more on the channel building up to next games, and a bit of dissecting this Manchester derby, which wasn't the best, but we still go away with it with a point, and we're ahead of City in the league. So thank you very much to Steve, to Joe, to all the guests as well that have featured on. I've been Joe. Bye. Bye, everyone. Bye. Got any more of those dark fruits?
Yeah.